Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome here at Al Madar. This is your host Muawiyah Tucker, and we'll be talking about a very important topic here, which is performing the Jumu'ah Salah in your homes. Now we are in unique times. We are in times which we've never seen before in our lives, nor in our grandparents' lives, or anyone we know alive has seen anything like this. A global shutdown of countries, states and cities. And we find ourselves perplexed, confused, what should we do? Especially as it relates to the Jumu'ah Salah. What should we do? So the question is Jumu'ah wajib upon an individual, even whilst they are, you could say, at home? Now, what makes the situation unique in the UK is that the government hasn't made it mandatory to stay at home. He's advised us to self-isolate, and it is from Islam to self-isolate. The ulama have said you must do so. But it hasn't been made mandatory, so we could actually go to the masjid, and some places actually did still perform the Jumu'ah Salah today, unfortunately. So the question is, what is the position we should take as it relates to the Jumu'ah Salah for those who choose to self-isolate or choose to isolate themselves and their families from this pandemic? Before we continue, let's have a quick discussion about, on Mr. Slide, when was it revealed? So the Jumu'ah was revealed to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst he was still in Mecca, and it was first performed before the Hijrah by Mus'ab ibn Umair in Medina. The one who should perform the Jumu'ah are male post-pubescent, are those who have already gone through puberty, and those who are not, and those who are residents, those who are not travelers. So any man, i.e. not a woman, who is post-pubescent, as in those who have gone through puberty or started puberty, and those who are residents and not travelers. Now, with the issue of puberty, some may ask, how do I know if my son has started puberty? Very simply, if he has hair growing underneath his armpits or his private parts, or has had a wet dream. So if you have a child who is on the border of that, then it's about time you have a conversation with him. But beyond that, if she's a woman or it's a child, or someone who is a traveller, then you don't have to do the Jumu'ah. You're not considered from the congregation of those who need to be considered as part of people who do Jumu'ah. And also, those who are ill, it is not upon them to do the Jumu'ah. But the question is, what is the minimum number? What number of people do we need to have in order for the Jumu'ah Salah to be not only obligatory, but accepted? Now, the Jumu'ah Salah has a khutbah and it has 2 rak'ah. So if someone does the Jumu'ah Salah when it shouldn't, then that has been accepted, and they have to do dhuhr. So therefore they have the sin of not doing dhuhr when they should do, and the sin of doing Jum'ah when they shouldn't do. So knowing what is the minimum number is very important. So Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, has broken this down in his book, Sharh Zad al-Mustaqni', where he, Sharh al-Mumti', sorry, which is the explanation of a book called Zad al-Mustaqni', where he clarifies this topic of the number. So first and foremost, the Shaykh wants to clarify that the meaning of number of those who attend are those who attend both the Jumu'ah, khutbah, and the Salah. So if you start off your khutbah and you have less than this number, then you don't do it. You need to have them attend both the Jumu'ah, khutbah, and the Salah. That also means that if you had the minimum number at the beginning, but one of them left before the Salah, therefore you do dhuhr and you do the Jumu'ah. So the number here we were discussing has to be those who attend both the khutbah and the salah. And the first number we have is 40. And this is basically on the narration about Mus'ab ibn Umair. When he first established a Jumu'ah khutbah in Medina, he mentioned that there were 40 in hadith. Now the Shaykh said this hadith is, although authentic, is not a good use or not a good evidence, because it just mentioned that there were 40. It didn't stipulate it must be 40. Also, there are other hadith where he says that the sunnah has been passed that with every 40 and what is above that, there is salah. Jumu'ah, sorry. And again, this hadith, although explicit, unlike the previous one, was not authentic. And the Shaykh said you need to have, in order for something to be an evidence, it needs to be both sahih, authentic, and sarih, explicit in its evidence. Then we have the opinion of those who say 12. Now the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was doing a khutbah for Jumu'ah, and some travelers came and they or bringing some produce that the Sahaba, the companions, were really in need of at the time. So some of them got up and went towards the individual to do the trade and buy the necessary, buy their needs from them, their haja from them. And there was, what remained was 12 people. So because 12 people remained, and the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam continued doing a khutbah, they say that's evidence that 12 is the minimum. But again, it doesn't explicitly say 12 is the minimum. It was just an occurrence that happened. It showed that 12 is allowed, but it didn't say 12 was the minimum amount. Then we have the fourth opinion, or third opinion I should say, where it says that you need to have 4 people, 1 imam and 3 attendees who listen him. Because the Allah said in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الْجُمُعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعِ. O you who believe, if you are called to the salah on the day of Jumu'ah, rush towards the salah and leave off the trade. So it mentions, O you who believe, amanu, and amanu is plural. So it was mentioned that therefore you need to have a minimum of plural 3 in order to attend, because it says amanu, those who believe. And the Shaykh said this is not correct, again because this was the intent behind that word was jins, as in the category of people, or believers, could be one person, but the category of people. Go to the Jumu'ah and leave off your transactions, not that it was trying to stipulate a number. Also, the Shaykh mentioned that 3 is another opinion, that the minimum number of people who you need to have a Jumu'ah is 3 people, 1 imam and 2 attendees, because 3 is the minimum number in the Arabic language, which is considered to be plural. So if you have 2, that's not a plural, that's dual. So you have a singular, a dual, and a plural. So the minimum is 3. And secondly, there's a hadith connected by Imam Ahmed. ما من ثلاثة في قرية, there's no 3 people in a village, لا تقام فيهم الصلاة, that you don't establish a salah in them, except that إلا استحوذ عليهم الشيطان, except that shaitan has subdued them. والصلاة, so that therefore he says that the word salah, established salah, is all types of salah, congregation and Jum'ah. And what's interesting about this hadith is that it's not specific to Jum'ah. It's not saying in order to have Jum'ah you need to have a minimum of 3. It's saying in order to have congregational salah, Jum'ah included, you need to have 3. So therefore, to do the Jum'ah salah is an obligation to do the Jum'ah with at least 3 people. The Jum'ah and the Jum'ah, the congregation and the Jum'ah salah. Also there's an opinion that says 2. And that's based on the linguistic difference of opinion, whereby some say 2 is also considered to be a plural, or can be used to refer to as a plural. And the Shaykh said, although that is a very strong opinion, it is a weaker one, because you need to have at least a group of people who are listening. And if you only have 2 people, then you only have 1 person listening, not at least 2, not even 2. Now, there are other opinions, but the Shaykh wants to clarify what is the strongest opinion. And according to Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, many of the other scholars, including Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, is that 3 is the bare minimum in order to have the Jum'ah Salah. Meaning, Shaykh says, تجب على هذا, so based on this, فإذا كانت هذه القرية فيها 100 طالب. So if there was a village and it has 100 students in that village, ليس فيها من مواطنيها إلا 3, and out of those 100 students, only 3 of them are residents, فَتَجْبُ عَلَيْهِمْ الثَّلَاثِ بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. So therefore, Jumu'ah is wajib upon those 3 who are residents. But if there is only 2 residents, no matter how many number of people who are living there, then you don't do the Jumu'ah amongst them, they all pray Dhuhr. There is a question, do you need a masjid to do the Jumu'ah? Because some ulama say, in order to have a Jumu'ah, you need to have a Jami', a masjid where everyone congregates, because the purpose of the Jumu'ah is a congregation of people to come together and worship Allah together. And the answer to that is no, it's not an obligation, because the first Jumu'ah that was established by Mus'ab ibn Umair, that was done underneath a date palm tree. So therefore, that never had a masjid, and there's no evidence to suggest that you need to have a masjid. So therefore, the question is, can we pray at home? After all of that, we've discovered, or we've come to a conclusion that according to the some opinion of scholars, and the correct opinion is that you need to have minimum of 3 people, 3 male adults residents? Do you establish a Jumu'ah in your homes? Now, the question here we have is our situation unique? This is the first question. Is it the case whereby being self-isolated in your home during a time of plague like this, is this actually a unique situation? Although it is unique to us, and we've never seen anything like this, and no one alive today has seen anything like this before, is it actually a unique situation? I would contest that it is not. In the 1,400 years of Islam being here, it's almost impossible to believe that there's never been a situation where there are 3 adults who are restrained from leaving their homes on the day of Jumu'ah. So therefore, if that situation has occurred for whatever reason, due to plague, due to war, due to whatever the situation, there would have been a case where they would have asked a sheikh, what should I do if I'm in that situation? But we don't find that in the books of hadith, in the books of fiqh, sorry. We don't find anywhere where it mentions the permissibility of praying Jumu'ah in one's home. So because we don't find that discussion making it permissible, although the situation isn't that unique, it's hard to imagine it being permissible all of a sudden 1,400 years later. So hence why some of the scholars of today have said it seems almost like an innovation, almost like a bid'ah, an innovation, to now have the idea whereby we now do Jumu'ah in our homes. The whole purpose of the Jumu'ah is a communal congregation where we make a group dhikr of Allah. Where now the idea of it all making small pockets of Jumu'ah, thousands upon thousands of Jumu'ahs across London itself, I mean, everyone's in their homes, that just seems a bit far-fetched and an unusual one, to say the least. So I find it difficult to hold the opinion that it's permissible to do the Jumu'ah in your homes, bearing in mind that situation isn't very unique. So, upon reflection of the above, of the different opinions that we have, what do we say about this? So those who are already out and about. So we're in a situation in the UK where we're not ordered by the government to stay in our homes. So people are out and about. Some are still even at work, surprisingly enough. If you're in a scenario where you're in an office with people and there are three Muslim men residents in that office already on Friday, and the Masjid in Friday, then I would say do your Jumu'ah in that place. Why? Because we have a precedence for this. Many organizations, they have their own musalla where they do their Jumu'ah inside that residence because they have enough people to do the Jumu'ah. So in that case, we already have a precedence, we already have a fatwa from ulama saying do your Jumu'ah on site as long as you have the right number of people. That would also, so in work or an order congregation, this is not the same as someone who has self-isolated themselves in their homes and then they leave that sanctuary to go to a congregational salah and then come back to their homes. We're talking about people who are already in a confined space of people working in that situation because they've chosen to do so. In that situation, then you do your Jumu'ah. Not that you leave your home to go to the Jumu'ah and come back. Whereas, as you said before, those who are already in their homes, because there's clearly been a need in the past for it to have been said, but it never was said. So therefore, it's highly highly unlikely that something like this will be permissible. But in saying that, Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah mentions in his book a very important point. هذه المسألة التي ذكرها العلماء. So this issue where the ulama have differed about the minimum number, 40, 12, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. تدلنا على أن الإنسان ينبغي أن يكون واسع الأفق. This points that we need to have, as human beings, wide horizons. We can't be narrow-minded. فالعلماء أسقطوا الجمعة من أجل الخلاف. So some ulama have removed the Jum'ah because of khilaf. وأوجبوها من أجل الخلاف. And some have said you must do so due to khilaf. Here's the key point here. فالمسائل الخلافية. So issues where scholars differ. التي يسوغ فيها الاجتهاد. Where the ijtihad is permissible in that regards, due to the evidence that exists. لا ينبغي للإنسان أن يكون فيها عنيفا. It's not permissible for a human being to be harsh against others who differ with them. بحيث يضلل غيره. To the extent whereby you say that so-and-so who differs with you is a deviant. He is misguided. So, whatever opinion you personally hold, That's up to you, as long as you hold that opinion based on knowledge and evidence or taking advice from scholars and reliable students of knowledge. But if others hold different opinions, then so be it. My personal opinion is that we should self-isolate ourselves because we are putting other people at risk. We are putting other people at risk. And if it's permissible to leave the congregational salah due to rain, then no doubt leaving the congregational salah due to a plague is even more, is awla, has more right to do so. And I find it odd and sad to see that even today, where the government of the UK has cancelled GCSEs, has cancelled A-levels, has shut down schools, we still have Muslims conducting the Jumu'ah Salah in the Masjid. I just heard the khutbah today where before the Imam even said, Inna alhamdulillah, I'm hearing people in the crowd coughing. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? Please, ikhwan, take heed of the advice. Do not put other people's lives at risk. You may not be that concerned about your own health. You may get the coronavirus and come out of it unscathed. But you may pass it to someone else who is not so. Someone else who might have asthma. Someone else might have underlying health conditions and who may suffer and die as a result of your lack of consideration. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you truly believe until you love for others what you love for yourself. I would hate for anyone to bring coronavirus to my children and I have to watch them die. Alone even, because I can't even go near them. So I would hate for me to be the one who spreads this virus to someone else, for them to have them watch their loved ones die and be unable to do anything about it. I'll conclude inshallah by saying I'll ask Allah to make us strong during this time and give us patience during this time of difficulty, and ask God to help you all both financially in this life and hereafter, and to increase you all in iman and taqwa. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.